From bustling markets to contemporary art, from the nightlife of Tel Aviv to the holiness of Jerusalem, and from artisanal craftspeople to the internationally successful high-tech market that brought you Wix, Mellanox, Waze, drip irrigation systems, and so much more. There are many reasons to move to the startup nation, but above all, taxes. Taxes? Really?
Yes, taxes. Stay tuned and we'll tell you why.
Who are you and what are you doing in the video?
I am Nissim Cohen, Israeli tax partner and the head of the family office private client team here in KPMG Israel.
And I'm Harel Tau, international tax partner and a member of the family office and private clients at KPMG Israel. Please stay with us and you will see for yourself exactly why Israel is the best place when it comes to taxes.
Okay, let's do it.
The first thing we want you to know about taxes in Israel is that our tax rates are pretty reasonable when compared to the rest of the world. Corporate tax rate 23%, capital gain and dividend 28 to 33%. Individuals pay tax brackets up to 50% marginal rate. We have real estate gain tax 28%, and we have additional benefits for foreign investors.
But most of all, keep in mind that Israel is a country of immigrants. We really encourage immigration, and that is expressed in our taxes as well. One of the most significant tax benefits we have is a total tax exemption for first-time Israeli tax residents. That applies from the moment that one becomes an Israeli tax resident for a period of 10 consecutive years. The exemption applies on all foreign-sourced income, like dividends and interest, as well as capital gains from assets sales abroad. You don't have to pay a dime on this, not a shekel.
Sounds great. And 10 years is a long time. What do I have to do in order to get the exemption?
What do you have to do? Absolutely nothing. It's really easy. It's a total exemption. You just have to get here. New immigrants to Israel and their foreign companies under their control do not have to report revenues generated or accrued abroad for the entire 10 years period. 10 whole years. And that includes profit or asset accrued abroad during the 10 years period after you have immigrated.
Wait, but what if I don't fit in Israel? What if it doesn't work out?
Of course it will work out. We are very nice people.
If the unbelievable occurs and you decide to leave Israel, nothing happens. No hard feelings. And to make the decision even easier, you can request an acclimatization year within 90 days from your arrival into the country. Even after you have moved to Israel and the center of your life is here, in the first year you will not be considered an Israeli tax resident. And if you want to know about our exit taxes, as long as you live within that 10 years tax holiday period, you will only pay exit tax on Israeli assets. And even then, only when you realize the assets. Interesting, right?
Nissim, it's just you and me here. How is the tax authority in Israel?
The Israeli tax authorities, like tax authorities all over the world, execute their duty faithfully. At the same time, what's special about Israel is that we are one big family, and you can really see that when it comes to openness and communication with the tax authority, you can go and ask to receive an advance confirmation on almost every subject that you may have a shred of doubt as to the taxation of the deal. Quite often, we seek a pre-ruling for a deal in advance, and therefore we can completely reassure the client.
The major risk in that approach is that if you're not careful enough, you may find yourself eating your weekly Shabbat dinner with a tax inspector and his family. That's how it is in Israel. Another interesting issue is the relationship Israel has with the rest of the world. Israel has a large network of tax treaties with almost every major country, and of course with our esteemed colleagues here today: Brazil, Canada, Portugal, Singapore, and South Africa.
This is a time to mention that we are at the beginning of a historical period where peace is spreading in the region, and we believe prosperity too will spread. Israel is an excellent gateway to the entire Middle East and the Gulf state, and now more than ever. Basically, on the way to Abu Dhabi, you can stop off in Tel Aviv. We have already said that Israel is one big happy family, and family issues are given high priority here. You should know that in Israel there is no estate tax and no inheritance tax, so the transfer of properties and assets as a gift or inheritance is not a taxable event. You should live a long and healthy life, but know that at the end of your days, your children and grandchildren are all set, and you can truly rest in peace.
Wow, cool. So I'm buying a one-way ticket to Tel Aviv. Thanks. Anything else I need to know?
There's a lot more. For example, reduced purchase tax for apartment in Israel.
And you can drive within 6 hours from the desert in the south up to the snow in the north of the country.
We have Step Up for assets purchased before you came to Israel.
And we have a beautiful Mediterranean beaches.
We do not have Welsh tax,
We have the best hummus in the world.
no branch tax,
We brought cherry tomatoes to the world.
no thin cap rules.
Well, I think that's enough. Thank you very much and see you in Israel.
Shalom. See you in Israel.